I still don't know how to start this because I
Yeah.
think I liked how we started the first one. We were talking about like we don't like when people are
Right,
like,
right, right.
"Hey, what's up, guys?"
Yeah. Well, I think we should just explain like what we're kind of do is
Yeah.
like I think for the time being we're hopefully going to try and record every 2 weeks probably.
Yeah.
And it might be here in the basement, it might be elsewhere.
Yep.
Cuz all of our equipment right now is pretty mobile.
True.
And we're going to try and record 2 episodes worth of stuff. And then, because we both have pretty busy schedules, especially going in the summer here. So as you see, it's still the 22nd when we're recording.
Yeah.
And yeah, so yeah, I think that's a good as intro as any. Well,
I don't know if we were redoing in the intro or if we were just explaining
Yeah.
the recording part.
I think we just get right into it. Keep all this in.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Well, anyways, so
So
we're introducing each other now.
No,
Let's
no,
keep
no.
going.
Well, I guess yeah. If you want a refresher, I'm Braden. He's Nolan.
Yes.
We have it, kind of linked in here. Like I'm on my side, he's on his side.
Yeah. If you forget.
Yeah, and yeah. So, I mean, we can get right rolling here.
So in terms of sports,
Yes,
things that get a lot of media coverage, all the Eagles fans are talking about the tush push.
big time.
What do they need to know?
Well, first of all,
Yeah.
let's acknowledge the Eagles won the Super Bowl this year.
Heyo.
Boom! I love the Eagles. I love that we won the Super Bowl. I forget about it too often, and then every once in a while I'll be like, oh,
Yeah.
yeah, we won the Super Bowl this year. Let's
Yeah.
go. Cool. I love it. I love that we won the Super Bowl. I'm a big Eagles fan, whatnot. I try not to be an annoying Eagles fan. I'm not a guy who's going to, like...
We get a bad reputation,
Absolutely we
but we're passionate.
Yeah, definitely.
What can I say?
So let me talk a little bit about this before we get into the tush push. But so for, like I said, my job, I had earbud in. Well, let me just say this. At my previous job, I would wear a hat all the time as well. And so during Eagles season, I would always wear an Eagles hat. When Eagles season was over, usually the Phillies were starting up right away or soon. And so I put on my Phillies hat. And I was a material handler at a local hardware store. And we got deliveries all the time from different drivers, from whatever. And part of my job was to unload these things. And so a lot of those guys had interesting opinions about sports. And some of them were very passionate about their teams. A lot of them were Philly fans. So it was fun to get to talk to them about the Phillies and the Eagles and whatnot. But there was also times where we would have people who aren't Philly fans, and they would come in and see my Eagles hat, and they'd be like, oh, boy, you're going to get on my case about whatever. And I was like, nah, man, we can just talk about sports. And so we would, like, talk about sports. And, like, I remember a couple times where they would be like, man, I thought you were going to be way more annoying about this specific thing. And there was a specific guy who would come every single Tuesday morning who was a Giants fan. And for those of you who don't know,
That's tough.
yes,
Yeah.
the Eagles recently got Saquon Barkley, who was a player for the Giants for the past. Well, we'll put it into relationship terms.
Yeah, sure. Describe it to us.
Yeah. So Saquon was the, I guess, girlfriend of.
all right. I feel like you have to make it more vague. You have to be like, so I knew this guy.
Okay,
You
okay.
know what I mean?
Yeah,
And
yeah, yeah.
then-
So this. Yeah. Okay. Here we go. So there were two people in a relationship. They were like right as this nice young girl. Never mind. I'm cutting that.
like out of college or what?
No. Yeah. Sure.
yeah.
Sure.
Coming right out of college.
Yes, coming right out of college.
Yeah.
Whole life ahead of him, and got into this relationship with this guy who has had a long history of some great moments and some pretty bad moments. And at the time when they got together, they weren't doing very well. And so for 6 years they were a part of a relationship,
Ooh.
right? 6.
Wow, yeah. 6
think it
years and
was.
no ring?
Yeah, no ring.
Wow, what is he doing?
Yeah,
What is he
I don't
waiting
know.
for?
What is he waiting for?
Come on.
And it really seemed like for a long time.
Did she deserve a ring, though? I mean, like,
I think so. She was. I'll say it like this.
yeah.
She was the brightest part of that guy's life for
Wow.
6 years. There really wasn't much else going on for him, and for 6 years, she was kind of the thing.
Why'd she stay, though?
She stayed because she's in contracts and she's loyal.
Okay. Contracts.
Yeah. But yeah.
Like, she liked his family or two? Or?
Yeah.
Alright.
She liked the family, the fans, and and so yeah. Eventually, enough was enough, and it's time to look further because hey, at some point, we need a ring.
Yeah.
We got things on our mind.
So she broke up with him, obviously.
Yeah, they were kind of ending,
Right.
and
You think he would have had a chance to get her to stay?
I think, obviously, yes. If the how do I say this?
But everybody
in
knew it wouldn't be
relationship
healthy for
terms?
her, you know?
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
People wanted to see her succeed, wanted to see her do better.
Yeah.
She's a good guy.
Right. And yeah, I'm not sure how you really say that in relationship terms, but
she like then she I mean her brother no, his brother was a great guy.
yeah.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah, pretty
Yes.
much.
His brother was a great guy.
Like a stand-up guy.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Recently had a ring
True.
with a different girl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jaded history for sure.
Yes.
A
and then-
passionate lover.
Yes. had a passionate lover, got a ring with them. and then went through a dark spot. Just for a little bit.
Yeah.
A couple years of like
But
not
I think
great.
even then he was working on himself and growing.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And in the rebuild started looking over to the brother.
Yeah. Said, "Wow, you don't even realize the gem of a woman you have there."
I bet that woman would be even better than she is with me.
Like, yeah, I could. You know, you want to be in a relationship where you improve one another.
Absolutely.
For sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And it just seems like this brother
Yeah.
fit her better than he did.
That's crazy though. Like
It is. I mean, if you
Inside
think
the
about
family,
this,
yeah.
if we're thinking about this as like an actual relationship,
yeah.
absolutely insane.
Right, that's a little bit too far.
Do not forget that we're talking about football
We're talking
players
about
and
sports
football
here.
teams right
Wow.
now. Anywho, the
But for all the Swifties, we're keeping you dialed in.
right, so think about this relationship, loyalty. They're together for 6 years. 6 years is a long time.
Yeah.
Are we right with 6 years?
I don't know.
I think it's like 6 or 7.
probably
that it
right out of
was.
college.
Yeah.
I mean, she went through a time too, you know.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, injury.
Yep.
You know, couldn't be her full self.
Yep.
Yeah. And then I guess maybe even that made him be like, you know.
Absolutely. And so eventually the jig is kind of up. It's time. They realize they're not made for each other. And she starts looking elsewhere. And pretty much right away goes to the brother.
Wow.
Yeah.
But like, I don't think I can blame her. You
Oh,
know?
absolutely not.
She needs to do what's best for her.
Mhm.
And I think it was clear as soon as they got together that
Mhm.
they were going to be a perfect match.
And there were a lot of naysayers.
There were.
There were a lot of people saying that this man was doing too much, going for her.
Yeah.
That he didn't need her.
Right.
That she adds nothing to him.
Yeah. There was a
And-
lot of people at this time that were saying a partner of that type was not really needed. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
A lot of these alpha guys talking about all I need is the stock market. I don't
Uh-huh.
need, you know, I don't need this woman.
Uh-huh. And they absolutely proved everyone 100% wrong.
Yep.
She had one of the greatest years that somebody of her could have. Somebody like her could ever have.
Yeah.
And Yeah, I mean, it was just phenomenal. And year one got the ring.
Wow. Yeah. And nobody was surprised.
I wasn't surprised. I mean,
Yeah.
I was certainly thrilled and excited.
I knew the connection was there. I
Yep.
mean, I was a little bit surprised that there was a ring, honestly,
In year
in
one,
year one.
absolutely.
But the chemistry was there.
It makes sense.
The whole family rallied around them.
Uh-huh.
Um,
Absolutely.
Everyone, yeah,
And I mean, we
treated her with respect.
I would certainly
Dignity.
consider me and you part of the family.
Yeah.
I think I can speak for both of us when I say that we hope that she's around for a long time.
Yep.
Till she's dead in the dirt.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Hey, and then they didn't even sign the prenup. They said,
Mm-hmm.
actually, we think this is a good thing.
Yep.
After getting the ring, doubled down
Uh-huh.
and said, we're sticking it out for long term.
The long haul.
That's a beautiful thing.
That's a beautiful
You don't
thing.
see that.
You don't see
You don't
that.
see that every day. True gentleman.
Absolutely.
And that's Howie Roseman for you.
Yep. A classy
Woo.
gentleman and a classy woman
Yeah.
combined makes a world of difference.
Hmm.
So, let's continue this.
Yeah.
This man has a certain thing about him
Right.
that a lot of people don't like.
He's got a business,
Yes.
that
Yeah.
he can do.
That nobody else really can do as well as him.
Right. He's got the secret sauce.
See, one of the things about it is anybody could do this.
Yeah.
Any other guy in any other team, any other guy in the NFL could do this, could run this business. But nobody has worked on it as hard as we have.
It's true. We've perfected the recipe.
We've perfected the recipe.
It's like your grandmom's
Special
tomato
sauce.
sauce.
Yeah. Yep, exactly.
Everybody makes a tomato
Yep.
sauce.
We have the perfect ingredients.
Yeah.
We have the perfect chef to bring it all together.
Stout.
Yep. Perfect ingredients, the best offensive line in the league,
Yep.
arguably.
Yeah. Vocally for sure.
Uh-huh. The perfect chef, stout. It creates this business that functions like nobody else has right now
With
in the league.
efficiency.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's arguments that this business is dangerous to others.
Yeah.
There's arguments that this business
It's too successful. It's like
is
a
too
monopoly.
successful.
Yeah.
And there's arguments that this business does not look good from the outside looking in.
Yeah. Like it ain't pretty.
Right.
The sauce.
It's not great work.
Right. It's not like a bright red sauce, you know what
Right.
I mean? But it's tasty for dang sure.
Uh-huh. And so people in the family love it.
Yeah.
But and most people I would argue
I mean,
that
when
most
when
people
you see the chef cooking up Mama's secret
Uh-huh.
recipe sauce, that's something special.
and I would argue that most people in the world would look at it and be like, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
But people who are really refined palate with the sauce,
Yeah.
some of them would say that this is kind of a dumbed down version.
Yeah.
And I could not disagree more.
It's a jealousy of the sauce.
Uh-huh. I think that's exactly what it is.
I think this is a classic Plankton scenario.
Okay.
Where he needs that Krabby Patty
Uh-huh.
formula. You know
Yep.
what I mean?
Yep. And nobody else can get it.
Yeah.
And they could if they worked on it, but
right.
they don't.
And I think the Krabby Patty formula is maybe less about the ingredients, more about the style. You know,
Uh-huh.
more about the commitment to it,
Yes.
dedication.
So, why this is relevant right now is many of the other guys who are in the are living on Earth see him doing this business and say, we can't have this. We have to
Yeah.
have this out of the world. And so they brought it to the jury. They said, hey, if we all vote, if we have, what is the number that they needed to have?
I don't know. I think it's half, but
Well, they had to have I think 3/4
oh yeah.
to say that
Well, they only got like a third.
yes, they got 2/3.
Oh really? I thought they got like 11
No, they got 10. So we got
out of 32.
yeah, we got 11 votes for keeping it.
Oh.
Yeah.
There you go.
So they needed, I think, 3/4 of the vote to ban this business from being able to happen, and they only got what, like 2/3 ish. of
Right.
it.
Yeah.
They got 11 out of 32
It's closer than I thought,
votes
honestly.
to keep it. Yeah, it was kind of close. And a lot of teams were voting to get rid of it. So what's interesting is a
Yeah,
lot
like
of the teams.
people in the cheese business,
Yeah.
they were the main one trying to get rid of it.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Good point. And it's interesting because they were one of the ones who were trying to tamper with the business. They
Yeah,
were
they were trying
trying
to
out their own
replicate
sauces.
it, for
Yep.
sure. Yeah.
A lot of the teams, not a lot, but a bunch of the teams that were
They had a
voted to get
couple
rid of it.
successful batches too.
Yeah.
I'll say the
Yeah.
cheese business.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
But a bunch of the businesses or the other companies that were guys. I'm losing the analogy a bit. A bunch of the other guys who were trying to get rid of it, who voted to get rid of it, were trying to meddle in the business. And it's like, you can't meddle in the business and then vote to get rid of it.
Yeah, I think they found out they're never finding grandma's secret
Yeah.
recipe,
Absolutely.
or they just don't have the commitment to do so.
Uh-huh.
And
Mhm.
I don't know. Here's my take on it. I think in 5 years, maybe even less, the recipe does get banned.
Yep.
I think what happens is people eventually will have to figure out the secret sauce.
Yeah.
And they'll have to commit to it. And at that point, if everyone's making the sauce, then it doesn't have the same special nature it did
Yeah.
once before.
Yeah.
And so for that reason, you're going to have to – you want people to be creative in creating new sauces. So
I think either that happens or they come up with the sauce stopper. They come up with a easy thing that they just into the sauce.
Yeah.
They figure out a way to put too much salt into the sauce.
Yeah.
And it becomes a thing that no longer drives business, and eventually teams just get tired of doing it and because it doesn't work anymore.
I don't know.
I think that's less likely though
than
what you were saying.
I know. I do think that's going to be hard to do.
Yes.
Because if we drop the analogy here for a second,
Yeah.
I'm like, if Jalen Hurts,
Yep.
you know what I mean, Cam Jurgens,
Uh-huh.
I don't know. I know some of the more offensive linemen. I don't know who's right next to Cam Jurgens, but it's like what? Jordan Mailata. Or is he
Mailata's on
edge?
the end.
Lane Johnson on the edge.
On the end.
Who else we got? Dickerson? Brandon Dickerson.
Yeah, Dickerson and
Well, we just got a new guy.
Becton.
No, but he got traded recently.
Well,
it
yeah,
was
I'm
Becton.
saying it was Becton last year.
That's a lot of power.
Yes.
That's a lot of power.
Yep.
So let's just say Becton, Jurgens, and Mailata.
Mm-hmm.
No, he's on the edge.
Yep.
Becton, Jurgens, and who else?
Becton.
Yeah.
Becton, Jurgens, and Dickerson.
And Dickerson, right. Them with Jalen Hurts and some people pushing behind.
Yep.
I don't think there's a defensive set that's legal to run that is going to push with equal force of those 4 massive guys who can squat 1,000,000 pounds and 2 guys pushing behind them.
Yeah.
I don't think there's anything that can stop that.
It was stopped 9 times last year.
Yeah. I don't know. I think it's just especially because they have the advantage because they can push at all at the same time and they know when to push.
Yep.
The defense is at the disadvantage.
Mm-hmm.
I do think the play is a little bit too good.
Uh-huh.
But I don't think there's enough teams running it
Uh-huh.
to this degree to warrant it being banned.
I see what you're saying.
But I'm like, if you just do pure like physics analysis of it, there's going to be way too much power coming from the offense and not from the defense.
Yep.
So I don't know. And the other reason I don't like it is like because it's so subjective.
Yeah.
Like we talk about the Bills game. Half of the time when we do quarterback sneaks and things like that, you can't really tell where the ball is.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just the ref running down the sideline wherever he thinks it is. And I think that's like the bigger issue for me is like I can't enjoy the game knowing that it's just up to the ref's interpretation.
Right.
When there's a chip inside the ball that tells us whether it's a first down, then you can do as many QB sneaks and tush pushes as you want. But I think like just having a big pile and having some refs run in where they think the ball landed irks me in ways I'm not comfortable with.
I think that is a larger problem that I think is highlighted well by the tush push is that the NFL is a billions of dollar company, and it's ridiculous that they haven't involved VAR into the game sooner.
Yeah.
Like,
I think isn't Chain Gang leaving this coming
I
year?
I'm not sure.
But I don't think
I have
they're.
not heard that. I hope they are.
I think they're just doing something different. I don't think they're using any like digital tracking systems.
Well, it's a high time that they do.
yeah. Well, I think they're trying to test it out in like the UFL,
Mhm.
whatever.
Like all major soccer leagues do it. All major, I think, pretty much. I think the NHL does at this point.
Yeah.
The like tennis, huge in tennis. The like looking at the line
Yeah.
thing, and that's not even a chip in the ball, right? It's
No.
it's
That's some
all
like
video
I don't
based.
even know. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think it's high time that they do that. The in baseball, when a pitch is thrown, the computer can like detect what kind of pitch it is and how fast it is before the ball is even in the catcher's glove, which is insane.
Mm-hmm.
And they can have it on the screen before the commentator can even say it, which is just ridiculous. Like the how much computers are
Yeah.
used in broadcasting and like the how we understand games
Right.
in
And that's
today's-
something that's still up to the interpretation of the ump. Yeah.
right.
Wow.
What is?
Like balls and strikes.
Well, I was mostly talking about like what a pitch is, like
Oh,
a sweeper or a
yeah.
curveball or a fastball or whatnot. Which that I could talk about for a while, whether or not we should get robots into baseball, but we
Yeah.
don't need to get into that unless we want to.
I know, but I'm just saying, like in any sport,
Sure.
I'm like, why are we just keeping it so subjective?
Things that could be objective, we're
Yeah.
choosing to keep subjective,
Right.
which is very frustrating for the watcher.
Yeah. It like in some sense it keeps it more exciting, but I think if we take the subjective out of it, then there's going to be a lot less conspiracy. Cuz we could talk about conspiracies for hours here of like, Vegas and the odds and how people are rigging it.
Yep.
I mean, but yeah, I would prefer not to do that, and
Yeah.
a lot of that would be solved if it was automated, computerized,
Absolutely.
and more objective.
Absolutely. Cool.
Yeah, I'm glad we figured out that relationship, and I'm glad she's thriving.
Yeah, honestly, I think
we're
that was a
happy
great
to have her
analogy.
in the family,
That was a great
Yeah.
analogy.
and we
Yeah.
hope to have her for a long time.
a long time. We
And,
hope she dies here.
Yeah. Well, yeah, we hope she retires.
Yeah.
Here, I guess.
Yeah.
Uh,
So let's kind of finish off.
yeah. Love you, Saquon.
Yeah, we love you, Saquon.
Yeah.
We're huge Saquon fans. I have a question. I've asked a couple friends of mine. I've gotten some backlash on some of my answers before from our friend group. But let me kind of lay out the question here, and it's kind of a couple different parts. So the general concept is, what animal do you feel like you possess the ability to kill if you were armed with a sword? So
Out of safety, not out of malice.
yes, yes. So I think
Hypothetically.
a classic question is like just like bare hands, but it's more fun to talk about a sword because I think like that's more hypothetical and it would up your chances significantly against most animals, adding the aspect of a sword. So now let's put the ground rules. This animal, you're in a Colosseum style fight. So like what I mean by that is there's no really any terrain. So
Cage
it's not
match.
it's not like you're fighting a monkey in a jungle because that would be much more tough than fighting a monkey in the desert.
True.
It's like it's pretty much ground, just like floor. It's like walls. You have plenty of space. There's lots of space for like an animal such as a rhinoceros to like get up a big charge. So you're in a Colosseum type area. You are armed with a sword. the sword in question is stylized, similar to Aragorn's sword. It has none of the special abilities of Aragorn's sword,
It's a classic like knight's double-edged sword.
like a broadsword. Yep.
Yeah.
So that's what it looks like. It's pretty sharp. It's about as sharp as a human can get it. So, it's not gonna slice through
Yeah.
like a tree.
Are there other things that could get it sharper than a
An
human?
elf, obviously.
Yeah, okay.
If we're
Nice.
in the lore of Lord of the Rings, which I guess we're not. So, as sharp as humanly possible. So as sharp as possible when it comes to we're trying to be realistic with this question. And then the answer is, your answer could change based on how we ask the question. So the question is, what is the most massive animal that you could kill? An easy answer is a giraffe. Very large, very massive, has very big. They're very heavy, but they're probably relatively easy to kill if you think about going for the legs, getting the Achilles heel. They're pretty quick, but not super agile.
Yeah.
And pretty cumbersome.
I feel like we should do like a size, just go up in sizes.
Yeah.
Just name animals, and I'll think if I could, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like a mouse, check.
Easy.
I'm taking on a mouse.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It'll take a while because I'm chasing it around.
Right.
Because if it's a wide open spot, it's fast.
Yes.
Um,
So to fully finish the question,
yeah.
There's also different school lines we could go down of like predator. So like I could kill a giraffe, which is heavier than a tiger, but I probably couldn't kill a tiger.
Yeah.
So the answer for most massive would be giraffe, but it's not as fun to talk about as which predator you could kill. So like we could also talk apex predators. So which of the apex predators could you kill if armed with a sword? An answer could be, well, we could talk about it.
Right.
And then another question would be like, what if you're underwater? What if you could change all these different
Yeah.
and like what if you're in the jungle? Because like if you're in the jungle, you have a much better chance of killing something like a rhinoceros hide behind a tree. So, okay. Question is posed.
Yeah.
Let's talk mass.
Yeah. No. I love to start with mass. That's what I'm saying. I feel like I got to start small and just checklist my way up, and like try to avoid the predators because we'll get to that eventually. So I'm like mouse. I get it.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Cat.
Take a while. Cat. I'm getting that.
Dog.
Well,
We're getting predator-ish.
yeah, predator. I feel like dog is tough. I'm like
Dog's
wolf
tough.
is a whole like you know what I mean? Untrained or like a trained dog.
Yeah.
Like one of those canines.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. I mean, I've seen those things chase down criminals and like bite their arms and legs. Like, I don't know. I've never been trained with a sword.
Again, this is to the death.
Yeah.
So, this is another part of the question.
They bite so hard.
They do.
I get my arm. I'm not swinging the sword anymore.
Both animals, or both you and the animal are trying to kill each other. You're only ever against one. So, if, you only have to do one wolf. It's not a pack of wolves.
Yeah.
And the animal knows that you're trying to kill it and that it needs to kill you, but it only has as much intellect as it has.
Yeah.
So, it can't, most animals, if you drop the sword, aren't going to pick up the sword and try and swipe at you with it.
Yeah.
So, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but I mean, that would be less effective than it biting my arm.
Right. I'm just saying it's not going to do anything that it's not already going to do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I'm saying I think we got to change from dog or wolf. I don't know if I'm necessarily killing those.
Sure. I think I'm killing a dog.
Well, a dog. Well, it depends what dog.
Sure.
Poodle for sure.
Well, I mean, I think most dogs I got.
Yeah.
With a sword.
A trained canine?
I think so. Because all you got to do is get one good swipe in.
I guess that's increasing its intelligence though. Yeah. So I'm just a regular pit bull or
it
German Shepherd.
It doesn't have much defense from a sword.
Yeah, but
you get a large amount of length, and it has to come straight for you.
Yeah, but you have to swing. You have to get that timing up.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to come straight for you. It could loop around you. They're smart enough to do that.
And I can spin with my sword.
Yeah. I don't know, man. That's a tough one.
So I feel like I have a pretty good handle on the sword.
Yeah.
I've handled a bat a fair amount.
Right.
I have pretty strong forearms just from the
That's true.
training that I've done.
I low-key might be better with a bat.
Yeah.
Because then it doesn't matter what angle you hit it at.
Yeah. I think you'd be able to handle the angle better than you think.
Yeah.
So, for those that don't know, I play church league softball.
There you go.
So I'm pretty much really good with the sword.
Yeah.
I actually have the sword in question up in my room. I should just go grab it.
Yeah.
What am I doing? Okay, I'll be right back.
All right. Wow. I guess I got a monologue. Yeah. We'll see if I can think of anything.
Okay, so this is the sword in question.
Yeah.
I think
Loki shorter than I thought it was going to be.
proportions would be a little different. I think it would be a little longer. It would be obviously much more high quality, but this is the general idea.
Yeah.
So it would probably be a little bit lighter and obviously much more
Yeah.
sturdier and
Yeah.
whatnot.
I think yeah, I don't know. I think a wolf or like a big dog. I think I'm winning 60% of the time.
Oh, that is another important thing. That's it. 6. If you can win 6 out of 10 times,
Yeah.
then it counts as
That's
a
a
win.
close one, but I don't know, maybe.
Yeah.
I think I would learn. I think I might get eaten the first 3 times.
Yep.
And then I might start
Right.
winning after that. So
Yep. I think I got it. I think I'm winning 7.
Yeah, I mean, sure. I don't know.
Yeah. Never really know.
If I could have something on my legs and arms, but I'm thinking this is no armor, so
Right.
I think that's totally different. If I had armor, I'd be more confident. I think. So.
Yeah. So that's Andoril is the name of that sword.
Nice. What's up from dog then? I don't know.
Yeah.
Like a capybara.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of something in between
I could take that.
dog and horse.
Dude, horses are scary.
Kangaroo.
Yeah, I've seen that guy box a kangaroo.
Yep.
And he took it out. I get with a sword, sure.
You know the exact video we're talking about?
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
everybody's seen that.
Yeah. keeping his dog safe.
Yep. I think we got a kangaroo. They're
Yep.
pretty fleshy.
For sure.
Gorilla.
Cow?
Well, gorilla's close to apex predator.
Yeah.
We'll save that.
Cow?
Cow.
Taking a cow.
Taking a cow. Yeah.
That's easy.
Livestock, pretty easy.
Yeah.
That's why bison.
They're trained.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bison.
are very heavy.
I think I'd take one out though.
Yeah.
I mean, we went up to him
Yep.
out west. You
Yep.
know, you can get pretty close. And
Now it is trying to kill you. They got a nasty charge.
that's true.
But all you gotta do is dodge the one charge,
Yeah.
and at some point you gotta get a leg. Once you get a leg, you're golden. That's the thing with horses, bovine. Once you get one leg, you're pretty much good.
Yeah. Horses are fast though.
Yeah.
I don't know what they would really have to damage me. I mean, obviously they could kick me. They
Yeah.
could bite me.
The kick is nasty.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we got horses for sure.
I mean, that one again, I think could be a sneaky 60-40.
Yep.
It's tough.
I would honestly say 70 or 80 with the horse.
Maybe.
We'll see. Well, we won't see.
Yeah, yeah. I don't think we've seen horses that have been, angry and motivated enough. We've
Trained
seen
for war
pretty
horses.
domesticated horses.
Us personally.
Yeah.
Now, horses in their prime, when people were riding
Yeah.
war horses around,
True.
nasty sons of guns, as they say.
Yeah. But I don't know if the horses were necessarily doing the damage either.
I think they were doing some pretty nasty damage.
Yeah, what were they doing?
They would what they do is they I mean they ram really
Yeah,
well,
yeah.
ram into people, and they get up on their hind legs and kind of go like this, and then the kicking is huge.
Yeah.
I've read the book Ranger's Apprentice, and they talk about the horses a bunch and how nasty they were,
Oh, wow.
or how they could do some serious damage.
Yeah, yeah. That's what I'm saying. I'm
Yeah.
I think animals, we don't see them motivated nearly enough.
Yes.
I mean, I'm usually not doing anything to upset them.
However, we got a sword.
Yeah. Yeah, but have you seen those calves? Like, or they're like, those, the quads,
Yes.
the leg muscles on a horse?
The thing is,
Wow.
all you got to do, because they have one tendon, though. So all you got to do is hit that one tendon even a little bit, and they're
Yeah.
so fragile.
Yeah, they're fast, though.
They're
I don't know.
fast.
Yeah.
They
That's
are
what I'm saying.
fast.
I'm like, I'm losing at least 2.
Okay, yeah, sure.
Yeah. Anyway.
I still think we get 60.
Maybe. Yeah.
What's next? Up from horse.
I also think we'd be better, like the both of us, against 2 of the other things.
Yeah.
Because then I feel like we got the smarts and the
Oh, yeah.
communication to
Absolutely.
like team up on them and stuff. But
Absolutely.
yeah.
That is a completely different question.
Yeah. I think
Absolutely
we'd be way better.
different question, yeah. Which we can get into at some point.
Yeah.
It would be fun to do like a inflection on this question every time.
Yeah.
Anyhow.
Up from a horse is what?
Up from a horse. So that's why I think giraffe is a great answer for this question.
Yeah.
They have a lot of mass, and they're probably pretty easily killable with that same.
I don't even know what attacks they would have if they were trying to come at me.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying, because they're such a calm animal in the wild.
So I've seen some giraffe fights
They can
on
stomp us.
Instagram in my day.
Yeah.
A lot of stomping. They'll actually swing their head
Their
around with
neck.
their neck.
Yeah. Wow.
Which again, it's like pretty slow. So it would definitely hurt if you get clipped, but it's not gonna kill you. And and you can probably dodge it.
Yeah.
You
And
have a high chance of dodging that.
Yeah. I really can't think of any land animal that doesn't scare me. I mean, elephant.
I'm losing to an elephant.
Yeah. I mean, you hear about the war elephants,
Yep.
like those things were.
Now it depends
tanks.
what type of elephant we're talking about. If we're
Yeah.
talking about tuskless elephant, you have a better shot than tusk.
I've seen those elephants that paint at the zoo. I
Yep.
could take one of those. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Picasso elephant,
Yeah.
gone.
That's what I'm saying. I
So-
think it's funny to like talk about like these non-apex or like these like non-predator
Yep.
animals and like try to picture them wanting to take me out.
I'm
Because I'm
thinking,
like, I
yeah.
could totally take most elephants.
Right.
Because by the time they knew I was trying to get them,
They're
I
gone.
already got them.
Yeah, exactly. So I think tuskless elephant, I'm winning 4 out of 10.
Yeah. I don't know.
Tusked elephant, I get maybe 1 out of 10. So both of
Yeah.
those are no's.
Right.
I don't know.
Fair enough.
Um,
They can't jump. You know, they're the
yes.
like one of the only animal that can't jump or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've seen that.
You've seen them not jump?
Well, I've seen that they can't jump.
Yeah, I me too.
I've read that.
Yeah. Every time at the zoo, I've seen them not jump. So,
Yeah. There you go.
yeah.
So then it just comes down to, okay, which is heavier, bison or giraffe? That I'm not sure about.
Right. Probably giraffe.
Yeah, I think probably giraffe. So an answer that I gave, I was talking about this past weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Rhinoceros.
Yeah,
I think I win 6 out of 10.
I don't think so. That's crazy. I feel like where are you even slicing? I feel like they got pretty tough skin.
Yeah. They have tough skin. I think
You'd have to be doing a lot of running.
Yep.
Because they are going to be running after you, and if they get close, one hit, and you're limping.
Yeah.
Then they're running you straight over.
Right. Yeah.
You said you're getting more 1 out of 10. What did you say?
I think 6 out of 10.
Oh, no way, man.
I think they're slow enough that I can dodge. I think they are they're slow enough that I can dodge their attacks. I think it's the same. Now, maybe I don't have a good enough understanding because I don't really know how, like, rhinoceros and elephants, I don't know how their legs work. Like, I kind of have a picture of, like, the tendons and muscles of, like, a horse.
Yeah.
I don't understand really rhinoceroses and elephants because they kind of have, like,
right.
full trunks for legs.
I'm just saying rhinoceroses can jump. according to the stat of the elephants are the only one that can't jump. So, I mean, they got to be more functional than an elephant.
Yeah, that's
They
true.
can move. I think they have bendable legs. Like,
Yeah.
Like,
I just
decently
think
bendable.
I'm so much more agile than a rhinoceros.
I mean, we got to look up how fast they are for sure.
they're fast. They're like 30, 40 miles an hour.
And you think you can
But
you
that's-
say they're slow.
That's top speed though. That's them like in a full dead sprint.
They're coming after you, yeah.
But they can't like change direction at 40 miles per hour. They absolutely cannot.
Yoshi, you want to pull up a clip of this? Come on, Yoshi.
They absolutely cannot change direction
Yeah,
at 40
34
miles per hour.
miles an hour? That's crazy.
That's a top speed dead sprint throw. You got to think about functional speed.
Yeah. And you got to think about you have to slice this thing
Yes.
probably multiple times. So
Yeah.
you got to get close to it.
I think I have more.
You think if it's moving 30 miles an hour, you're going to be able to jump out of the way and slice it?
No.
Look at that thing trotting.
Look how slow it is. All I have to do is go to the left, and then he's going to take.
What do you mean? It's not even, it's still picking up speed. It's moving a little bit laterally. Oh, now it's running.
I know.
Look at that.
All I have to do is dodge one of those, though.
Oh, no, you think you're getting it in one swipe?
No! Because all I have to do is dodge it. I don't have to kill on the first swipe. Okay, it comes again, I dodge again.
That thing is galloping.
It's going to get gas out way longer than I do.
No, it's not. Look
Yes,
at that
it
thing
is.
go. Look at that thing go. And he's not even mad. He's just looking at the people.
I agree that if I was just going to stand there, all I have to do is dodge one charge.
You say all you have to do is one, and then being like, yeah, but I also have to hit it multiple times.
Okay. I have to dodge multiple charges. But that takes one spurt of energy.
Yeah,
He
but-
has to get up speed,
Yeah.
run. Okay, I missed the first one.
I don't think he's
Let me
like,
stop and then
I
turn
don't think
around.
it's like a bull where you can just rodeo him. You know what I mean?
Okay.
With a red cape. I think he's going to miss you the one time.
Yeah.
Then he's going to come in a little bit slower, miss you again. And then he's just going to kind of creep up and just be swinging his head.
Yeah.
And then what are you doing?
Dodging.
I think you're losing.
All right, man.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think that he's agile enough for that. I think that it's just too big of an animal to move faster.
All I'm saying
than-
is you say like that you're going to have way more energy than it. We've played basketball together.
That's true.
I'm like, I don't know.
But like I can get an eye. Like I'm accurate enough to get an eye. Like when we're in that.
I don't know. The fear. They got pretty beady eyes. And
Don't
their eyes are like kind of on the side a little bit.
Yeah. I think I got that.
Yeah, but to get an eye, you're going to have to jump away, hit it. You're going to pretty much be standing right next to it.
Yeah.
It's going to turn its head. Even if it can't move directions immediately, it's going to hit you with the horn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think I got it.
Yeah.
I'm saying at least 5.
I know. Unfortunately, like there's no way to like prove you wrong.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
you can believe whatever you want, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, until I see a video of it like doing what I would imagine it would take to kill me, I'm gonna think that I can get it.
I mean, they probably fight each other for like dominance. Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like you just watch that.
A
and
lot
you
of it
know.
though is just because I have.
Yeah.
A lot of it is like, we're like looking at each other, we're like knocking things into each other,
Yeah.
and it's not fast by any means. I mean, I don't know.
But it's strong.
It is strong. I think I'm winning.
I don't know, man.
Yeah.
I don't even think I'm beating like Khabib with a sword. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like,
What?
yeah. Dude, he's gonna like chop my hand, and then like I'm done.
Yeah. But all you got to do is time the first one.
I don't think it's that easy. I don't know.
You don't think that you could beat Khabib with a sword? 6 out of 10 times.
I could not beat any trained fighter with a sword.
For real?
I don't think.
Now, I'm not one of the people who like thinks that I have a shot against a trained fighter.
Yeah.
Like without hands.
Yeah.
I think sword is such a ginormous advantage.
Yeah. I don't know. I think like the biggest advantage I saw in the previous scenario was that it's an animal.
Yeah.
I'm just like, I don't know. I feel like they would just know how to deflect, kick, anything. It's like time it up. I mean, I've seen the head movement of Canelo.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whew.
That's true.
You think he sees this swing coming? He's not going to duck under that and then uppercut me?
Sure.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you get a lot of length, though, with the sword.
Yeah. But, I mean, they've defended spinning back fists.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Which are way faster.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I think I'm losing.
So 0 out of 10 with no sword. I think with sword against Khabib. 2.
Maybe
3. What do you think?
I don't know. I think I get lucky once, maybe. I don't know.
Really?
I don't know. I mean, like any trained fighter, like I'm watching these people in the military, you know what I mean, and stuff like that. You see clips of like Marines.
Mm-hmm.
It's like they are trained for people with weapons to disarm them.
Yeah.
And like whatever. And I'm like, and I'm probably not as good with a weapon as whoever they're fighting.
But people aren't walking around with swords nowadays. They're walking around with knives. That's much different.
Yeah. Honestly, I don't know if I might have better control of a knife. I mean, they get their hands on me, I'm done. But yeah, I don't know.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think swords are such a big advantage. They have been historically. Like people who have the better technology rule the world.
Yeah.
That's why Romans were so good. I think historically having a sword is not insurmountable, obviously. That's the wrong word.
I think it's like sword and armor, though. Because typically, if you have the best sword, you have created the best metal.
Sure.
And with that, you're making the best armor, which is defending everything else.
Yeah.
And typically, you're focusing on military, so you have good training as well. But
yeah. I think this is an impossible thing to test. Not even really something that I would want to test. I obviously don't want to kill a rhinoceros.
Yeah. They're endangered.
Yeah.
You sick animal.
Actually, rhinoceros is my favorite land creature. I have a favorite bird, a favorite land, like air, land, and water creature.
We might as well lay it on us.
Well, I can if you'd like. Favorite land creature, I've talked about them. Rhinoceros. I think they're awesome. They have a symbiotic relationship with a certain type of bird. They are not very good at seeing. They're not very good at with their sight isn't very good. So they have this bird that sits on their backs and will like eat ticks out of their ears and like off their backs and whatnot. And then if something that the bird would like recognizes as a threat comes, they start like, and then the rhinoceros will be like, what? And then they'll like see it and then charge at it.
Nice.
Which is cool. That's called a symbiotic relationship.
Yeah.
For those of you who don't know, I think they're really cool. I learned about that on Wildcrats. My favorite bird is the peregrine falcon. I'm sure you've heard of it. It's the fastest creature on the planet. It dives at speeds of 265 to 70. It's tough to tell. Miles per hour.
Yeah, for our European watchers, that's like 2,000 kilometers.
I don't think so. But yeah, 2,000.
No, what's it? It's like double, right?
No.
More than double? Kilometers per hour? Is it like 500?
It would probably be like 300.
We'll find out. You keep going.
Yeah, so peregrine falcon, they Yeah, they dive. What's cool about peregrine falcons also is they're pretty much most places. Like,
321 kilometers per hour.
there you go.
Thanks, Yoshi.
Thank you, Yoshi. One of the cool things about peregrine falcons is they exist pretty much anywhere there's like high spaces. So like, according to Wildcrats, they could be in like New York City. Obviously, where they were in natural habitats would be like cliffs, peaks, things like that. But they can exist, like they can make their habitats in anywhere that has giant places, because what they do is fly up to that, then they only have to fly up a little bit farther to dive, to hit their signature dive. And yeah, they're awesome. You should look up videos at home of peregrine falcons if you've never seen them.
Right after you look up the video of Draymond doing the we probably cut that out.
Right, yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah. And yes. So peregrine falcons, they're awesome. Then my favorite sea creature.
Should I guess?
Yeah.
Colossal squid.
No.
Blue whale.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Just got to go big.
Yep, you got to go big. I'm a fan of the big guys.
Yeah.
Blue whales, they're just awesome to look at. Graceful. They have, supersonic, like, talking to each other. They can hear each other from, like, at least a mile. I think I've heard, like, 5 miles away. Their hearts are the size of a car.
Wow.
They're cool. They're cool guys.
The little fish, the krill.
Yeah.
That's pretty funny. It's like rice to us.
Yeah.
Probably even smaller. It's like quinoa.
Yeah.
It's their whole diet, basically.
Yeah. Yeah, they're very cool. I think they're also maybe endangered.
Yeah.
Not sure. But yeah. I'm a big animal fan. I know a certain amount of facts about animals. I have like a knowledge.
I know a limited number of facts about animals.
Yeah.
Willing to expand it,
Right.
but I do know a set number of facts.
Yeah, yeah.
And that is a fact.
I kind of have like a catalog of like,
Yeah.
I can, if I find another person who likes animals, I like to talk about like, oh, here are the facts I know. I've gotten a lot of them over the years from Wildcrats.
Yeah.
I used to love that show.
I used to have those like strange but true books, or
Yeah, Ripley's Believe It or Not.
yeah, that's not even the one I'm thinking of. It's just like,
I think I've heard of that too, though.
yeah, I don't even know if that's what it's called, but it would be like, did you know this fact? So it wasn't necessarily animal oriented, but like the one that has always stuck with me is the world record for clover with the most cloves on it. It was like 56.
Wow.
Yeah.
Whoa.
I know.
56.
And I was like, either that's some like crazy hybrid, or like it's like a breed of clover that's not like the 3-leaf clover that we have in our yard, which could totally be true.
Yeah.
That's the one I'm picturing.
Yeah.
But
insane.
Yeah. I also found out, if this is a tangent or not, that like if you find 4-leaf clovers, typically they kind of grow in the same patches because it's like a mutation that occurs in that gene pool or whatever. So then you can actually like dig those up and like plant them. And if you plant 4-leaf clovers with each other, they'll most likely breed more 4-leaf clovers.
Yeah.
Start a little 4-leaf clover garden.
Huh.
And then you can get a mutation for 5, 6-leaf clovers, and you can start like different gardens. So I like fell into a hole on like Reddit or something, and I found this like one guy who was like, yeah, I just started my like 7-leaf clover garden, whatever.
Wow.
And I was like, that's sick.
That is really cool.
Yeah. I was like, the dedication.
Oh, yeah.
Some people are just really good at finding 4-leaf clovers.
It's also, yes, I've heard of that.
Yeah.
My 6th grade teacher, she was like, I'm so good at finding 4-leaf clovers.
Prove it. And
she literally like had a whole bunch like in her classroom. Because she was like, I don't know what it is. She was a huge field hockey player. She was like, maybe it's because I'm staring at the grass all the time that I find them. Yeah. But like, she just like has a really good eye for them.
Yeah. But if she should...
Oh, yeah,
like,
do
just
what you're saying.
Spray a little spray paint there, come back to it later or whatever. You know, if you're on the field hockey, you can just dig up a shovel and whatever.
Right.
But, like, just, dig up that little section, try to isolate it.
Yeah.
She's start a garden.
Yeah.
It's like manufacturing luck.
Absolutely.
I was like, if there was a way to, like, make like 4-leaf clover seeds,
Mm-hmm.
like that would bang.
Yeah.
Like I think that would be a very popular like TikTok shop item.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
Because imagine like you go to a friend's house and you're like, here's a 4-leaf clover for you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You could like, instead of being the uncle that gives like $2 bills, you know, to like your niece and nephews, you
Yeah.
give them like 4-leaf clover every time you see them.
Yeah.
A 5-leaf clover.
Boom.
Yeah.
Very cool.
One more story about clovers.
All right.
I was in kindergarten. I found a 4-leaf clover on like, you know, at recess.
Yeah.
Maybe not kindergarten, first grade, something like that. I was young.
Yeah.
And one of my close friends at the time, Kenny, he was like,
Kenny.
I was like,
Shout out Kenny.
dude, I was like, look, I was like, I found this 4-leaf clover. This is so sick. And he goes, yo, can I look at it? I said, sure. And he like looks at it for a second, looks at me, picks off one of the clovers and gives it back to me. He goes, and nobody will believe you.
Oh my gosh.
I was like, that?
I rescind your shout out, Kenny.
yeah. No, he's a cool kid.
Shout out rescinded.
Yeah, just a little bit crazy, but that was awesome.
Yeah. I think clove.
Yeah.
Pulled off one of the cloves.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe. I know I said it earlier and it didn't
Doesn't
sound
matter.
quite right, but
Yeah.
yeah, that was traumatic.
We don't claim to be experts on clovers and
Yeah.
cloves.
That was traumatic.
Yeah, that is
but
traumatic.
also kind of the most baller thing you can do.
Absolutely. I think that's probably the coolest response you could have had.
I know.
What was you supposed to say? Oh, cool. Cool 4-leaf clover, bro.
Oh, cool. Let's show it to everybody else on the playground, and
Yeah.
let's get you a bunch of
Nerd.
cool kid points.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was my attempt to try to not say aura.
Cool kid.
There's a
points.
couple of phrases right now that
Oh,
I've
yes.
been getting tired of hearing,
Yes.
and I'm trying not to contribute to it.
Yeah.
Aura is a big one.
Mm-hmm.
The other is lore. Everyone's like,
Yeah.
let me drop the lore on you.
Mhm.
And I'm like, oh, I understand it. And sometimes it's like, it makes sense for the scenario.
Yeah.
Other times, I just can't hear that word anymore. It was like Riz, you know, Riz is slowly dying out.
Yeah.
And it's still kind of funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Riz is only funny ironically. Lore, I think you can use like in a day-to-day term.
Yeah.
I think the first time I heard lore like used like that
Yeah.
was Moist Critical, Penguinzo or whatever
Yeah,
YouTuber. I don't watch him all that often, but I have periodically over the years.
Yeah.
He used to say that a lot back in the day. So like lore is one of those ones that I feel like I've been saying for a long time. So now that
Mhm.
a lot of people are saying it, it's
Yeah. I think it's great when you're talking about movies, you're
Yeah.
talking about background, but people are just using it so much for their personal
right.
lives.
I think it's funny to use for your personal life.
I think it is funny.
I think it was. I think it's
Yeah.
not no longer.
It's become a little bit overused.
Yeah.
If you're watching this as of, May 22nd,
2025.
let us know. Let us know if it's overused,
Yeah.
and hopefully maybe it's dying out.
Yeah. Who knows? I think it's probably.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I think it's a great like term.
Yeah. I don't know if I dislike any of these terms. I just think they're a little bit abused, and
Right.
then it'll lose some of its meaning.
Yeah. I think at the moment there's not anything that I would rather use in place of it.
Yeah. I mean, background, history.
Sure.
There's things we can use. Yeah.
If you can hear my stomach grumbling, I'm sorry. Yeah. So, I don't know. I don't know that I can think of words like that right now that are like that for me.
Right.
Yeah. So, do we want to like share stories about our past lives or?
Yeah, talk about I shared my Clover childhood
Sure.
trauma. What's your childhood trauma?
I'm trying to think of something in a similar fashion to
Yeah.
that.
I can't trust anybody with my possessions, my valuables anymore. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? How much of a hoarder do you think you are on a scale of 1 to 10? I think I'm like a 7. I think
Really?
I don't keep a lot of junk.
Yeah.
I think
that
Yeah.
you saying that puts you to like a 5 at most or a
Yeah,
6
yeah.
at most.
It's like
A
the
6 at the most.
yeah, the self-realization
Yeah.
makes me not a hoarder.
Right.
Yeah, I just think I have the tendency to hold on to things that I know don't really have any value. Like,
Sure.
I'm just like,
are you a trinket man?
yeah,
I love trinkets.
yeah, trinkets are good.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just think it's something that it's like, I feel like I have the personality almost like I lived through the Great Depression,
Sure.
but I didn't.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I'm like, that's useful for something.
Right.
The other day, I caught myself almost saving like the like little colored clip that goes on the top of a bread.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like the bag of bread. It's like got that like
Right,
weird
right.
plastic
Yep,
shape.
yep.
I almost saved it.
Yeah.
Like I was like throwing out the rest of the bag of bread, and I
Yeah.
set it on the table.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'll come back for that.
Yeah.
And I was like, what am I doing? I'm never coming back
Absolutely
for that.
not. Yeah.
Threw it away.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I would say I think I'm a 7. I think I'm a solid 7.
Yeah. So that makes you a 5? You're just trying to copy me?
No, I think you are less than me. I feel like you
Yeah.
hoard things less than I do.
Yeah.
I have so much crap.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's that I don't think I keep
Mm-hmm.
things that I don't need anymore
Yeah.
or like that I'm not going to want anymore. I think I just have a want for a lot of things.
Mm-hmm.
I have a fair amount of hobbies that like require equipment. Like disc golf is one of them.
Yeah.
Drums, I have a drum set and a bunch of other crap that comes along with that. I collect Monopolies. I
Yeah.
don't know if you knew that about me.
Yeah. No, I do.
Oh, you do?
I almost, when I was
Oh,
in
yeah.
Latvia, I almost got you a Latvian
Oh, that would have been cool.
Monopoly, but it was like $50.
Oh.
I was like, that's a lot, man.
Not that cool.
yeah.
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 And I don't know what else. Like a computer, I have a computer with different components and whatnot because I built my own
Yeah,
computer,
Right.
so I had to buy a bunch
Yeah.
of different things for it,
No.
and I've had to over the years. But
Yeah.
so I don't know if I guess that I don't know if that would make me a hoarder.
Yeah.
But then I also have a bunch of random
you
stuff.
do a
that
lot
I
of
absolutely
like
don't need.
compulsive like shopping,
Yes, I do.
I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I have Aragorn's sword.
yeah. Yoshi.
Yoshi's not mine.
I know, yeah. Well, I think here's the thing for me. I don't think I hoard a ton of stuff,
Sure.
but I place like an odd amount of value on things that have no value.
Sure.
Like, when I was working at this place so that we'd have a lot of produce and different things, I found this carrot that was intertwined with another carrot.
Yeah.
And I took a picture of it on my phone. I was like, this is awesome. I still
Yeah.
have that picture.
Yep.
My
Oh.
phone is full of random crap pictures, but I wanted to keep the carrot so badly.
Oh, yeah.
And I think I did for
Mhm.
like the rest of the day. I like put it like, next to my stuff. And then I was like, what am I doing with this carrot? I was like, best case scenario,
Yeah.
I like cook it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, it's like cooked carrots that are hugging.
Right.
And then I like, eat it.
Yeah.
So it's like I place weird value on things like
Yeah.
that. Like I as well think I would keep every 4-leaf clover that I've ever had.
Yep.
I would love to be a person that's like, yeah, it's like pretty cool, but like it's not serving me any value, so I can let it go.
Yeah. Yeah.
But like me in a thrift store, like we were at a thrift store the other day, and there was like this like little espresso cup and plate, and it was like the Hershey Company, like
Give me that.
like 1977 or something, and like the like old logo, and it was like these were like given out as gifts to like the Hershey like executives
Yeah.
like on some Christmas party.
Oh my gosh.
And I was like,
I'm buying
I
that so
want this
fast.
so bad.
Yeah.
I was like, wife, please. I was like, it's like $6, like
Yeah.
$7, and I was like, I literally was looking it up on eBay, being like, I mean, like we could keep it for like a year, and then like worst case scenario, we just sell it for like $20.
Yeah, yeah,
You know
yeah.
what I mean? And I was like, no, it's not something I need. It's not something I'll use. And it really hurt me to leave it there.
Don't get me in an antique store, bro.
Yeah.
I'll be buying so many trinkets.
I just feel like I love the history behind
yeah,
things.
absolutely.
And I put so much value in it, but it's like it's not even my history. It's
Yeah.
not even like meaningful to me.
Well,
But because it was meaningful to someone else or because it's old, I think it's so cool.
absolutely.
Yeah.
I think there is I think items, places, definitely like, I wouldn't go so far as to say as have a soul, but like they have more like draw to them.
Yeah.
The more like people have put time and like energy
Right.
and some sort of effort into.
I will say this espresso cup looked unused.
Yeah. Well. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it definitely has a lot of lore around it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, but I don't know. I think that's I don't think that's preposterous to say.
Yeah. So I think that's why I give it. I think just because of the weird amount of value I put on things, but I do declutter often.
Yeah.
Because like I look around the house and I'm like, wow, this is a mess. Like, why did I keep these cardboard boxes?
Mm-hmm.
Like I thought I was gonna move out like with these, you know what I
Right.
mean? Like it's like we unpack the Instapot and I'm like, well, the Instapot fits perfect in there, so
Yeah.
we'll keep the box.
Yeah.
No, the box takes up so much space. Break it down, trash it.
Yeah, definitely.
But I kept it for like 2 months.
Yeah. I think the as far as hoarding goes,
Yeah.
I don't think that that's crazy. I think that that's 5-6 area.
Yeah, it's growing up eating saltine crackers, you know what I mean?
Yep.
Hey, I lived through the house crash,
Yep.
house part crash.
I think
We'll probably
like-
live through another one here soon.
yeah, we can't sniff those 10s. You know what I mean when I say
Sniff those tens. Well, I don't know what that means.
It's like a hoarder that's a 10. Like we're not coming
Oh
close
yeah,
to that.
yeah.
We're not even coming
Yeah.
close to a 10.
Yeah,
You know
yeah.
what I mean?
Those dimes in the drawer, we're not sniffing
So
them.
I don't know. I wouldn't even call myself a 7.
Yeah,
Like from what an actual hoarder is.
yeah. Right. We're the type of people that don't keep the pennies.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
And we barely keep the nickels.
Yep. Yep.
Right.
We're
So that
not-
we can't be higher than an 8.
We're not keeping newspapers from 1972.
Yeah. Actually, though, we were I mean, that's
think-
pretty cool.
Yeah, I think I do have. We probably have some newspaper clippings from 1972 because that's the year my dad was born.
Oh, there
So
you
my
go.
grandma probably has something from it. I don't know.
We were redoing our floors in an old house built
Yep.
like 1800, something like that. I forget, 1860 maybe.
Yeah.
And I guess like they didn't have great like barriers between like the flooring, subflooring, carpet. So there was one section where they put down pieces of newspaper.
That's so fire.
And I was like, "Whoa."
yeah.
And like the phone numbers were like 7 digits long.
Yeah.
Or wait,
Yep.
no, they still are 7 digits.
Well,
It was weird.
phone numbers are mostly
It looked like they
mostly 10 now because you
Right,
need
right.
the area code.
right. It looked like
Back
the
then you
area
didn't
code
really need
was
the
like
area
2
code.
digits. It was
Yeah.
like 52 dash like whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, 5 more digits. And I was like, this is a weird phone number. And like it was just cool to see like you could read bits of it. A lot of it was like pasted to the floor, so like we couldn't save it. We just sanded it.
Yeah.
But I was like obsessed with this one Pontiac ad.
Ooh.
And I was like, I want to find this in a database somewhere and
Yeah.
get the like the whatever
Yeah.
and have it as like a memento in our house, like
yeah.
hang it in the bathroom or like somewhere like cool. So I found it on eBay, like the actual ad, but like from a different area.
Sure.
So I'll probably order it. It was like $3-5. I haven't
that's
ordered
cool.
it, but I was like, that's really cool.
Yeah.
I also think like something that gives character to your house or something like that, like
I should.
almost like making it like a museum a little
Yeah.
bit.
Newspaper from 1972 is not a good example.
Right.
When I was said that, I was thinking of like people who have stacks of newspapers in their house because
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
whatever reason.
Right.
I've
They-
seen that
They
on
need
the show.
some. They need some kindling for
Yeah.
a fire. You know?
I've seen that on the show Hoarders before, like people
Yeah.
having just stacks of crap,
Right.
like just absolutely not needed stuff.
That's true. That's too far.
Yeah,
You also
Um,
collect Pringle cans.
I got rid of those.
You did? Oh,
Yeah.
see, you're down to a 6. Wow.
There we go.
Wow.
Well,
Yeah,
that
so
was
funny.
cool though.
That's so funny saying you're down to a 6. Congrats.
Yeah, let's go.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I think there's obviously I was gonna say I don't think there's anything wrong with like being a certain amount of hoarder.
Yeah.
I guess I'm fine with saying that. Obviously it can get to a point that's detrimental to your health.
Yeah.
Like you see on shows like that.
Mhm.
But I think that it's completely fair to have a certain amount of weight on items. Now,
Yeah.
if you're gonna if you're gonna get into a place where like you're in a bad place when you lose one of those items, then maybe you're putting too much emphasis on them.
Mhm.
But I don't think it's crazy to like think that certain items and trinkets are cool.
Yeah. Yeah. No, for sure. I like to hold it on to knickknacks too.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I wonder if this is. You'll have to tell me if this is your experience when you find the right lady.
Okay.
But like when we were like dating and it was starting to get really serious, like it was fun, like from certain dates or this or that.
Yeah.
You know, we like won this little prize together at some
Yeah.
event, and you just like hold on to it. I had like a drawer in my bedroom where it just like kept a couple of those trinkets,
Yep.
so it was fun. And then like actually when I proposed, like used like 3 of those as like
That's
a little
awesome.
like they were each like a point of like
Yeah.
different things, like, you know, I want to be like this for you and this, and like build our household like this, which was really fun
Yeah.
and like cute to be like, she's like, oh my goodness, from this date.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it was like I loved that kind of stuff.
Yeah. That's awesome.
But then it's like, where's the line of
Right.
like what's like a cute memento and like what's just like, yeah,
Weird.
right. Yeah, or just like when it becomes like you're a
Egregious.
hoarder. Not like it was creepy.
Right.
That I was hoarding these things. I wasn't
Sure.
sniffing them every day.
Sure. I mean, like,
yeah.
when it gets like, okay, maybe that's a little too much.
Right. Yeah, you're like, I saved like the ticket movie stubs,
Right.
and I saved this and that. Like, you know, it was more cool things than that. You know, it's like,
Yeah.
oh, something we won at bingo on like
Right.
a very nostalgic date night or
Sure.
whatever. But
I have had girlfriends before.
yeah. I don't know. Hey,
Yeah.
this was my first girlfriend. so,
Right.
Yeah.
So I have kept like certain things from.
You still do?
from those. I think I still have one from like.
Okay.
I have like a couple little things from like my high school girlfriend, I think,
That's interesting.
and my most recent girlfriend as well. I think I
You
have.
sniff those?
No, I'm not sniffing nothing.
Oh, man.
No, I'm not sniffing.
No.
But
Sometimes, but not usually.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's funny. Oh.
Never mind.
What's one of the items here? I'll share one of those. One of the ones I kept was this little sheep
Yeah.
that we got when we got super into geocaching. You
Oh, cool.
remember geocaching?
Yep.
That was crazy. So like, there's like sometimes little boxes and they'll have little prizes in it,
Yep.
and we thought the sheep was cute.
Yeah.
So I kept it on my car on the dash for a long time, but then just started like rolling around. It just like didn't stick in there super well. So then I relocated it to the drawer.
Yep.
But I don't
You
know
don't
where
have
it
a
is
shelf?
now, honestly.
Gotta get
No.
a trinket shelf.
Yeah, I don't.
I have like a couple shelves in my one room, and it used to be absolutely covered in trinkets. And when
Yeah.
I moved out the first time, I
Yeah.
like went through and got rid of a bunch of them,
Right.
kept some of them, and so now I have like kind of the all stars. And then when I
Yeah.
moved back in, I obviously have less now. So
I love other people that have trinkets.
Yeah.
Like when you go to your grandma's house.
oh yeah,
And like
sharing in the trinkets.
our grandma will do like Easter like scavenger hunts,
Yep.
and it's like you got to find this and this, these obscure things, and there's a million little things in the house, so
Oh,
it's
yeah.
like very fun to like
Oh, that's cool.
scavenge through everything, which is like awesome. But then I'm like, I don't want that for myself.
Gotcha.
But I think it's great to observe and
Yeah.
to see. I think it's fun. It's
Yeah.
very fun.
One of the things that I kept from my most recent relationship was the like ticket to the zoo.
That's right after I flamed the
Right
ticket.
after you flamed ticket to the movie,
Yeah,
which
yeah.
is different. I think zoo and movie is
Yeah.
different. Zoo's
Which
like a full
zoo?
experience. It was a specific one at the place that we went to. Which zoo? Oh, a specific zoo.
That's funny. I mean, yeah, you don't have to name it, I guess.
Sure.
Fair enough.
It was in upstate New York. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Whatever.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I was just wondering if it was like a big zoo or if it was a local zoo. Like, I mean, there's a difference between the Pittsburgh
Sure.
Zoo and like a local zoo here.
Yeah. It was a pretty big zoo. It was
Yeah.
the Rochester Zoo, I guess. I kind of forget what it exactly was called.
Like they got a lot of animals there.
They
Like,
had a lot of
got
animals.
rhino.
They had a rhino. They had a couple
Whoa.
rhinos. They had some giraffes.
That's sick.
They had like 3 elephants.
Yeah.
They had a polar bear. Supposedly, we never saw it. It was awesome
Sure.
though.
Yeah.
They had some lions. It was
That
a
is
really
sick.
cool zoo.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I haven't been to a real cool zoo in a while.
Me too.
Except
I mean,
for
I guess I have obviously last
I
year.
remember when I was young, we'd go to the Pittsburgh Zoo because that's where my grandparents are kind of from in that area, or where they moved to Florida. But we we would go there, and apparently I don't remember this, but on like Sundays, I think, like in the afternoon, they'll let the penguins out. Like just
I've heard of
they
this.
roam with the people.
Yeah,
Which is awesome.
that's awesome.
Yeah, so that's really cool. And along those lines, there's that zoo. Oh man, what's it called? Lake Tobias.
Yep.
You ever heard of that?
Yep.
There's this great place.
My grandma just went there last weekend.
Wow. There's this place that like yeah. There's this place here that's like it's awesome. They'll take you on like a bus that's like the top half's chopped off.
Safari type.
And you just like it's like they'll drive you around like it's a safari and you see a lot of cool animals. And like
the camp
like,
that I work at, we used to go there as campers.
It's like elk and like antelope and like bison and things like that. Zebras, yeah. There's nothing crazy.
Yeah.
But like a lot of really cool things.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's also a nice zoo. Like they got a lot of cool animals. They have giraffes there that you can feed.
Yep.
So shout out to Lake Tobias.
Shout out Lake Tobias for sure.
Very family oriented. Like pretty cheap too. Love it.
The Zoo of America is not far away. It's either in Hershey or Philly. I forget. I always think of it like near Hershey Park.
Oh right, they have a Zoo America section.
Yeah. And it's like,
it's like right next door. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like sick. Like it's a really nice zoo.
Yeah.
I've been thinking I want to get up to there again soon because I love. So yeah, zoos are tough because
you're thinking about slicing them all up too. You dog. That's why it's tough for you.
No, because
you're walking in there with your Aragon, being like, "Ah."
Yeah, I could definitely get that one.
No, you're sizing them up, banging on the glass.
I got you.
Seeing how fast they run.
Yeah.
It's demented.
No, it's tough because like, there's part of you that's like, man, that zoo animal looks super depressed and like but like in the same way zoos are obviously good for like raising awareness for animal conservation, whatnot. They're perfect for like animals who got injured in the wild, wouldn't be able to survive in the wild anyway, so we might as well like keep them alive and like
alive.
Might as well keep them alive and like enjoy them while they're here.
Yeah.
In the same way though, it's like if that animal is just suffering, then like I don't know, maybe it's time to get rid of it. Chop it up with a sword.
Whoa. Hey, I don't know, man. I feel like the animals got pretty good camaraderie.
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen Madagascar.
Sure.
All three of them.
Yep.
You saw the struggles when they try to go back to the wild. You know what I mean?
Yep. I mean, that's real. Like, most animals that were, like, raised in zoos can't go back into the wild.
Exactly. That's the other thing.
So it's like, I don't know.
I mean, but they usually they have some cool relationships, typically with the zookeepers and things like that.
Sure.
And I don't know. It was sad to see the carnival cut out elephants.
Yeah.
But they probably had a worse quality of life than zoo elephants. So,
definitely.
Yeah, probably pretty valid. I don't know.
Yep. I would agree that probably zoo animals, like elephants for sure, I'm happy that they're probably out of carnivals.
I'm sure there's rules.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously there is, but I'm sure there's like rules to keep animals pretty happy.
Yeah.
And I'm sure they're better than like farm animals. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Farm animal industry is kind of sad sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely.
Like chickens that like don't even see the sun.
Right.
They're just like light automated.
Yep.
But hey.
It's just unfortunate. That's kind of like part of the world that we live in today. I mean, like, you talk about industrialization. I've talked about this with some friends before, but like, how far do we want to go with this?
yeah, it's getting depressing over here.
Yeah, it totally could.
Yeah,
like, there's a lot of stuff that's part of a lot of the luxuries that we live with today: phones, grocery stores.
Like podcasts. Dang.
Yeah. Exist because of some like stuff that kind of sucks. Like working conditions of people who make iPhones are terrible. If you look into any of that, like chickens, I never get to see the light of day. But I have a bag of frozen chicken nuggets in my freezer right now for when I don't feel like cooking. And it's like it's saying we're okay with this because we want the product, and like at a certain point, I think down the line that's gonna change. I think people are like waking up a little bit to like how that kind of stuff works, and like starting to be less okay with the working conditions at Apple. And like I'm just using that as an example.
Right.
Obviously, there's much more and different things than that.
So then the other part of it is people that are like, well, you have to vote with your wallet.
Right.
You have to be willing to pay for the extra price hike.
Yeah.
And I mean, like, I know when I go to like Costco for chicken, I'm like, the organic chicken's like $2 extra a pound. I'm like, hey, yo. Crazy. And I'm like, I'm definitely grabbing the regular chicken.
Yeah.
And I mean, I don't know if that's really indicative of the conditions it's raised in. Obviously, it's like more for health things. But it's like stuff like that. People will be like, yeah, well, we hate how much waste T-shirts are from, in Walmart and this and that. It's like, yeah, well, a lot of times people feel like they can only shop at Walmart because like other clothing prices that are ethically sourced are super expensive. And it's like, how are we going to convince mass people to do that? So, yeah, I don't know.
It's a part of the industrialized world that we live in.
Hey, I'm a sucker for thrifting.
Yeah.
I love holding on to things and using them until they're done.
Love it.
Yeah. And also just buying like little teacups that are like, got some history to them.
Yep. And again, we're completely like mostly uninformed dudes who don't know what we're talking about.
Oh, for sure.
But like, yeah, I don't know. It's a tough concept.
Yeah.
Especially because, we're only in 2025. If the world keeps on turning, things are going to get even more the way that they are. So, I don't know.
We're over here just trying not to sniff a 10.
Yeah. Cool. Well, is there anything else we want to talk about? I think we have plenty of content for 2 episodes.
I was going to say, though, talking about iPhones.
Yeah.
What iPhone are we on these days? 16?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, wow.
I think we just did the 15 in fall. And so or was it 16?
Yeah, I think it was,
Yoshi.
man. Yoshi, pull it up. It's crazy to me because, I mean, if you are uninformed about what Facebook Marketplace is, you got to get on that. I don't have like one of those fancy plans that pays for a new phone, and nor do I want one because I know that I'm paying it in during the contract. But like I don't even know what I have, 11, because it's not the boxy one. I think I have the 11. I was like, I got to get one that doesn't have a home button or people are going to make fun of me. But I mean, it like works super well. I mean, they have ones that are way better now, but it's like, what did they really add between the iPhone 11 and the 16?
Yeah, I mean, they're just stronger, faster chips. In theory, the phone will run smoother, move faster, load quicker, everything. Better display.
Yeah.
It's all, quality of life stuff. As far as like functionality, pretty much the same.
Yeah. I used to think that like there were big differences between each phones.
Yep.
Because I feel like there was between like
definitely.
the 4 was a huge jump.
Mm-hmm.
The 6 was a huge jump.
Mm-hmm.
Now like the 10, the 11.
Well, some of the things that
jump.
they do is that's annoying is like they have probably the technology already for iPhone 20. But because of the consumerism, they're gonna.
I feel like they're gonna
improving it year by year.
It's unbelievable to me that sales are still where they're at. Like, doesn't everyone else also see that the phones are exactly the same?
I think they do.
I
think they don't care. I think they just want the newest, biggest thing.
It's expensive.
It's expensive. There's people that want to pay it though.
Yeah,
they're fine with paying it. And there's people who don't understand contracts and money and whatnot.
Yeah.
So.
My philosophy is, or actually, like, what I've kind of decided is, like, I've got, the 11 or whatever it is. I don't think I want to get a new phone until the new charging cable comes out.
Yes.
Because they already have a new charging cable.
To USB-C.
Once they switch to another charging cable, I think I'm ready. Because, like, my phone's already struggling to charge and stuff, and
Yeah.
it's so annoying. I feel like that's the other thing they do. They like kill your phone
They do.
battery.
That's actually
and
proven.
they make the lightning cables like not work as well.
That's
Because
actually
like
proven.
only a brand new lightning cable will work on my phone, so I've had to do wireless charging.
Well, it's called planned obsolescence. That's not it.
Right. Yeah, and I know
It's
they
like
went
the
to
light
like court
bulb.
for it, right?
What?
Didn't they like go to court for it?
Yeah.
And they were like, well, it's like a pretty normal thing.
Yeah.
And it's like to save the functionality of the phone
Right.
to kill the battery.
And I mean, it's the light bulb, like I forget what it was called, the light bulb like summit or something, where
Yeah.
like they realized that they can make light bulbs that will never like go out, and then all the light bulb companies got together and were like, hey, let's agree to make light bulbs go out in like 10 years after buying it, so that way people would still have to buy light bulbs, because the light bulb companies like figured out that, oh, if we just make all these light bulbs that they'll never go out, people will just stop buying light bulbs at a certain point, because
Whoa,
that was the thing that actually happened.
it's crazy.
I'll
How
have
has
to,
nobody broken into that and just be like, I'm creating the forever light bulb? Because you would sell like $1 billion right up front, and
Well,
then
because they like light bulbs now are all LEDs, which
Yeah.
aren't the same as those.
okay,
And I think though that, I mean, they sell light bulbs like these are 10-year ones, these are like 15-year ones, 20 years. I
Yeah.
think. I don't know. I'll have to
Yeah.
do more research into that, but
I know. I had to change my my like turn signal the other day, and like I've changed the front turn signal a couple times, and
Yep.
it's not too hard. But the back turn signal, I had to take apart like half my trunk,
yeah,
and like these screws that were super hard to get to.
Yeah.
You know, jamming my fingers in there, it was a hassle.
Yep.
If I had to never change the light bulb again, I'd be so happy.
yeah. Let's. What were we just talking about?
iPhones.
Consumerism, iPhones. Oh, I remember the one last thing I wanted to say
Yeah,
before we got to get going.
true.
I plan on getting rid of like my smartphone at some point within the year.
For a dumb phone,
Yeah.
a lot of people are doing it.
Scaling back. Yeah.
Yeah, I have a new friend that's doing that.
Okay. Yeah. I'd like to like I want to make sure that it's like gonna be like worth it, and like that I can still do like the things that I want to do. I've looked into like a couple different like minimal type phones that are like yeah, I don't know. I just think that it's like
There's things that can like that already have presets that can like you can lock your phone up
Right.
to basically make it do only what you want it to do.
Yeah.
I think it's called like brick and things
yeah,
like
there's
that.
things like brick,
Yeah.
and like different types of like child lock type things. Get your
Right.
friend to do the code for you, whatever. So I think probably I should start with that before I do, anything else. But I don't know. I think it's the other thing is like the screens, like blue light. I've looked into a little bit. That like comes off of the screens is like
Yeah.
pretty harmful to like skin and eyes and whatnot.
Yeah.
And like so a lot of those like dumb phone type things have like screens like Kindles, which are interesting and cool.
Yeah. Kindles, when you fire up those things, it looks like a Etch a Sketch.
Yeah, so cool.
It is really cool.
Yeah,
It just like it feels like it's not electronic.
Yeah.
Which is like how it's like what it's meant to be doing.
exactly.
So, shout out to Kindle.
Shout out Kindle.
We should be reading more.
That's for dang sure.
Yeah.
Read Lord of the Rings, people. Read The Hobbit. Read. Remember those posters in like middle school?
The only poster I remember from middle school was like in my science class, and it just said, "All butts stink," and it was like a picture of like a chicken butt and like a rhino butt, monkey butt, and a cigarette butt. You know,
Oh yeah. I
Yeah.
think I have seen.
it's like an anti-smoking one.
yeah.
And I was like, hee hee.
Butts.
Yeah. That was good.
Yeah.
Shout out to that science teacher.
Yeah.
Dude, all right. How much time do we have? This is a funny story.
Yeah. Go for it.
Do we have the?
I mean,
We're
yeah.
at hour 9.
Yeah. We should be fine.
Okay, did we start it again?
Yeah,
Okay.
I restarted at like 58.
Yeah, so my science teacher in middle school, we had this like beginning of year assignment kind of. It was like first week, second week or whatever. We're learning about the elements, the periodic table, all this stuff, atomic number, atomic mass, yada yada. And my group, I was with a bunch of little pranksters, and we were kind of like, it'd be funny to just like make a joke out of it, whatever. So we did. The element was SCI. That was the abbreviation, for science, and then the element's name was boring. So we did sci boring, and then like the atomic number was like her like room number, and the atomic mass was like the period that we were in.
Yep.
And we're like, this is funny, and like we like did it up really well because like I'm pretty artsy, so like it was like the best one in the class. It looked really good.
Yeah.
And like we were chuckling about it, whatever. We leave. We're gonna present them the next day. The next day, we come in, and like she's like, I want to talk to you about your whatever, and like something, and we're like, oh my, what do you
want, girl?
Yeah, we're like, what do you mean? It wasn't that bad. Like, it's not like we like said anything. I don't know. I guess it's kind of a little offensive.
Yeah.
We didn't think it was a big deal. It was supposed to be harmless.
Right.
But she was like, that was like offensive. That was mean. This, that, whatever. So she gave us like a different one that somebody else had made to present, and it was like FRD for like fried, and the thing was chicken. And I was like, all right, that's pretty funny. That's pretty funny. So it was a good one still, fried chicken. But we were like, that's so dumb.
Yeah.
Anyways, we were like, didn't think it was a big deal of it. Then I go home that night. It's like the next day, and like, and my parents are like, we got an email from your teacher, and like she said that you were just being super disrespectful in class, and this and that, whatever. And like I was always a good student, usually pretty quiet, and like, the like year previous, I had won like student of the quarter or whatever, like basically like gold star student, whatever. And like they were, and like in the email was like, I wouldn't expect this from a student of the quarter, or this or that or whatever. And I was like, it was harmless.
That's
like,
ridiculous.
And like they sent like a picture of she sent like a picture of the poster, and my parents were like, we don't really care like too much, but like you should probably apologize. Like it clearly like struck a chord, and like maybe you said something and didn't mean it the right way, but like we think you should apologize.
Right.
So I went the next day and like apologized to her or whatever. I was like, I'm like sorry like for that, and like it was genuine. I wasn't trying to be like mean about it. And then, like, my two lab partners, they're like, dude, did your parents get emailed? And I was like, yeah. They're like, ours too. They thought it was hilarious. Like, Like, they were just like, whatever. I was like, that's really funny.
Yeah.
Anyways, so that had happened. And then, like, maybe, like, 2-3 weeks later, we were in, like, kind of flex, which is, like, the break period. And me and my friend were getting really into paper footballs, so we would sit, and like the English teacher was super chill. She'd let us like, we'd finish all of our homework, so it'd be like, yeah, you guys could like hang out in the back, play paper footballs. So we're sitting in the back of the classroom that's in line with like the door, and I'm just, we're hitting some dingers,
Big time.
we're like, this is like 60, 70 yarders,
Oh,
you know what I mean?
Big time.
Sign us up, like some Justin Tucker numbers.
Oh, yeah.
But not like, whoa. Not like that though. And then there was this, we moved back even further, we move it back each time, and I just hit this absolute beauty, and it's soaring through the air, and I'm watching it go, and the door opens, and who comes in but the science teacher? And she walks in, and she turns to go say something to the English teacher, and goes right over my boy's head, perfect through the uprights, like way over his head. He turns around, bonks her right on the top of the head. But it's just a little paper football, you know what I mean? A little tape, little paper. And she turns to me, glaring, and she goes, "This could poke someone's eye out," and like takes it and storms off.
I would not expect this from a student of the year.
Door, poof, and like I'm like, bruh. I like look up, and like the English teacher, she's like, "Hey, Nolan, that's the teacher you did the poster for, right?" And I go, "Yeah." And she goes, "You're totally failing science." It was very funny.
That's awesome.
Yeah, shout out to my English teacher. She was super
Shout
chill.
out English teacher. Yeah.
I know, yeah. Anyways.
Yeah, that's tough. That's a tough thing, because I could totally see how like that science teacher could be hurt by like, science is boring.
I
like,
know.
bro, this is what I'm teaching you.
Yeah.
Like, why are you getting like this about it?
I guess in the beginning of the year too.
Yeah.
Got to set the tone.
Yep.
I guess.
Which is it's tough though, because it's like at the same time, if you like react like that to like kids who are just trying to have fun,
Yeah.
then it's you're only hurting them. You're only, I don't know about hurting, but like
right.
there's kids who could like get really like, crap, I have to like take school way too seriously, and then
Right.
which
It was
causes
like,
other problems.
and it was like, I feel like we were pretty clever with it, and like
Yeah.
I forget what other things we did with it, but
Right.
it was like pretty funny and clever.
Yeah, this is an example that's
Yeah.
like
It's not
obviously this reaction was completely
right. It's
seemed
not like
over
we
the
said
top.
like Mrs. Blank sucks.
Yeah,
You know
yeah.
what I mean?
right,
We weren't trying to like throw shade at her. I mean, I
Yeah.
guess putting her room number and
right.
period number is a little bit too far, but hey, I
Yeah.
don't know.
It's an instance of yucking someone's yum, and they get upset about it.
I would not yuck my science teacher's yum personally. Wow.
You never heard that?
No.
It's a good one. I've heard it from a friend of mine. But yeah,
What does it explain that?
like yucking someone's yum, like,
Yeah.
like if somebody's like, oh, I really like this thing, and then you're like, I actually think that thing sucks, and then that
Oh.
person's like, well,
Yeah,
that
yeah,
sucks
yeah.
that you think that. I think it's cool.
Right. You're kind of like you're being a Debbie Downer.
Right.
Yeah. Somebody's really
Yucking
passionate
someone's
about something.
yum.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
It makes sense.
I also
love-
thought it was kind of funny when I heard it the first time.
Yeah, yeah.
That's why I like saying it.
I love phrases like that. I think if you stick around on the podcast, I think diving into the etymology and history of different phrases is going to be a big part of
Yeah,
what we do here.
Definitely.
So, episode 1 is titled Yucking My Yum.
No, this is episode 2.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah,
dude.
we're
I
on
don't
episode 2 right
know.
now. Oh,
Yeah.
shoot. I can just like edit a 2 over
Hey,
that.
we don't know what episode it's going to be
True,
yet.
yeah.
Like we told you, we're filming 2 episodes.
Yep.
It's a double banger. So
We'll see how this gets
we're going to
cut
be
up.
doing 2 double headers. So
So, yeah, should we film an exit,
2-headed monster.
like an outro?
Um,
I guess we don't need one.
see ya.
Thanks for that could be it
Yeah, yeah.
for the first one, or because we have to do 2.
Should we film the outro? See ya.
Yeah. I mean, we don't have to have anything big.
Yeah.
We're just like, all right, thanks.
But like, what would it be like if we had something? If we had an outro?
Yeah.
This reminds me of like the Baby No Money
Yep.
song where he's like, should we really start the song like that? Or
Oh,
like,
yeah.
or no, that's a Quinn
Oh.
XCII song. The one where he's like, did I really just forget the melody?
Oh, yeah.
Da, 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 da.
Copyright.
True.
Whew.
Well, it's like,
Right.
is it even copyrighted because it's our parody, not parody of it, but it's our cover of it?
Sure. No, I don't think it would be. I think
Yeah.
if we were to play the song, it would be.
Yeah.
But
if we were to sing the whole thing in its entirety.
no, I think we can sing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When I popped up. Yeah. He's got memorable beats. I don't know if he necessarily has memorable lyrics, but
Yeah, absolutely.
Baby
Yeah.
No Money people are going to be coming at us.
All right.
That's true. I mean, early listeners, there's nobody that loves Baby No Money.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm saying like
of
people
our
watching.
group,
Yeah.
I think he's cool.
I
wouldn't
think he's
say I
got,
love
I think he's
him,
got
though.
good music. I don't think anybody's gonna come at us for saying like he's all right. Doesn't
Absolutely
have
not.
memorable lyrics.
I would agree with you.
I don't even think he would say he has memorable lyrics.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks, guys. See you.
Love you.
Love you. Bye.